This is TWiT.
Nvidia suffered a serious network breach last month. The hacker extortion group by the name of Lapsus, Lapsus, then with an extra $sign appended to the end, claims to have exfiltrated, and all evidence is they probably did, about a terabyte of Nvidia's very proprietary data during the attack. They extorted them. Nvidia said, go away. So they began leaking Nvidia's data online, as I said, after Nvidia refused to negotiate. On February 23rd, emails and NTLM, NT-LAM Manager, Windows password hashes for 71,335 Nvidia employees were leaked on the internet. Now, this was a bit puzzling since Nvidia currently has only 18,975 employees. But the hackers claim to have had deep total access to Nvidia's system, where they said they roamed around for about a week. And so the presumption has been that the leaked credentials include, deep past employee files as well, which would explain the high count. Then 4 days later, on February 27th, that hacking group, Lapsus, claimed it had been, digging around for a week and for some reason made a point of clearly stating that they are not state-sponsored and that they are, quote, not into politics at all, in caps on the at all. So, such is the world we're in today. Troy Hunt's Have I Been Pwned site now has the leaked data and noted that many of the hashes are being cracked and circulating within the hacking community. So I'm sure that Nvidia is, has already, made sure that all of their employees have changed their passwords, because otherwise that would even be worse. Lapsus also stole, apparently they just got everything. Think about it. We just glibly talk about a terabyte here, a terabyte there, but that is a trillion bytes, 1,000 billion bytes of data. So it's probably everything. And among the everything was some Nvidia expired driver signing certificates. And what's confusing to me is that the reports are, and they've been confirmed by many outlets, these expired driver signing certificates were immediately put to use signing malware components in order to get them past antivirus and Windows' own driver signing protections. So, expired. What's not at all clear to me is why Windows would load any driver signed with an expired certificate. But apparently it's doing that. Code signing works differently from TLS, web server certificate signing. The reason for the difference is that servers and clients, web servers and clients, are by definition always online and talking to each other. And servers are thus always able to present a certificate that's currently valid. So that's what we force them to do. But that's not the case with code, right? A driver might be signed 10 years ago, and the certificate with which it was signed will have long since expired, that particular certificate. So we want drivers to be valid in the future, even if a machine is not online. So there's no like online OCSP style verification. And the point is, was the certificate valid when it was signed? So that's what we did. We solved this problem by changing the requirement, the validity requirement for code signing. We require that code is signed by a certificate that is valid at the time the code was signed. But that means that we need to know when the code was signed. And that information is incorporated by requiring co-signing of the certificate by a valid certificate authority which offers a time stamping service. So, at the time the code is signed, the signing computer obtains a certified timestamp from a time stamping service, which is all bundled in to the final signature. You know, so it's sort of like having an online notary saying, yes, here I am, I'm asserting that this is the current date and time that all of this is happening. So this attests to the time that the signing was done. Now, Bleeping Computer showed the digital signatures property page of a piece of malware signed with Nvidia's expired cert. It shows that there was no timestamp included. And in fact, you don't need to include a timestamp. It's like what, you know, that is to say, the act of signing doesn't require a timestamp, but the entity trusting the signature is supposed to require it. I mean, that's the whole point. But all I can guess is that for the sake of compatibility, Microsoft doesn't enforce timestamping for at least some uses, and some apparently includes kernel drivers, because that's what was being signed by these expired NVIDIA certificates. You know, they've immediately been blacklisted. There are now, you know, we will not trust anything signed with these expired certs. But boy, you know, it took somebody using them maliciously to make that happen, which to me just seems crazy. But anyway, that seems to be what's going on. And also, on March 1st, the Lapsus group demanded that Nvidia open source their proprietary drivers for Windows, Mac, and Linux. I have a picture in the show notes of their ransom demand. Dated March 1st, it says, after evaluating, this is Lapsus talking, the bad guys, after evaluating our position and NVIDIA's, we decided to add one more requirement. We request that NVIDIA commits to, in all caps, completely open source and distribute under a FOSS license, close parens, their GPU drivers for Windows, Mac OS, and Linux from now on and forever. If this request is not met, on Friday, we will release the, and now we have in caps, complete silicon, graphics, and computer chipset files for all recent NVIDIA GPUs, including the RTX 3090 Ti and upcoming revisions, exclamation point. And they say, of course, this includes all files with extensions such as .v, .vx, and .vg, and more. And so they finish, so NVIDIA, the choice is yours. Either 1, officially make current and all future drivers for all cards open source while keeping the Verilog and chipset trade secrets, well, they said secret, or not make the drivers open source, making us, right, they're being made to release the entire silicon chip files so that everyone not only knows your driver's secrets, but also your most closely guarded trade secrets for graphics and computer chipsets too. You have until Friday. You decide.
Oh, Lord.
I know. Now, this .v, .vx, and .vg file extensions are for Verilog, which is the hardware description language, you know, the HDL, used to model electronic systems. It's the most commonly used in the design and manufacture of integrated circuits, and it has become an industry standard, standardized as IEEE Standard 1364. This means that these guys have the designs of NVIDIA's chips, which, yes, NVIDIA certainly intended to be, you know, kept inside. And, you know, while at first this seems a bit breathtaking, it's unclear what real value those would be. I mean, maybe there's proprietary stuff that could be reverse engineered out of them, but no other reputable foundry is going to make Nvidia clone chips. You know, they'd be litigated into non-existence for one thing. And, well, I was thinking about this, maybe Russia would, except that Russia doesn't have the process technology to make any state-of-the-art chips. They're unable to do it. So NVIDIA's designs would be of little use to them. Last year, NVIDIA also came up with a technology known as light hash rate, or LHR, which reduces the value of its GPUs for cryptocurrency mining. Their aim is to make a very powerful graphic processor, but one which would not be very good at crypto mining, in order that, you know, gamers can actually have a chance to buy some of these things rather than them all being sucked up by the crypto miners. And apparently this also annoyed the hackers, who have said they want the hash rate limiters to be removed from the chips. So, you know, my feeling is mostly this is a huge embarrassment for NVIDIA. And it is a perfect example of just how much damage can be done when all of a company's proprietary value takes electronic form, as NVIDIA's is, and thus can be downloaded, shared, and unfortunately escape from their control. Wow.
By the way, I just wanted to show you something that came up in the Discord. Did you see this in Crystal City, Virginia? Instead of telling you when it's safe to cross the street, the walk signs in Crystal City, Virginia are telling you, change your password, change your password, change your I have to turn on the sound. But clearly somebody got...
Change password. Change password.
Clearly, somebody got into the system, and instead of being malicious, they just thought they'd have some fun, which I think is great.
Yeah. I think it's actually wonderful. It's a little bit of a Rickroll.
Exactly.